My name is Marisa Maggio. If this is the first time that you're on this call, welcome to the call, and we're really excited to have you. Each and every week, I truly take a step back and I'm like, who could we genuinely hear from that's not going to give us, not going to just talk. They're going to give us tangible things that we could actually take today and we can implement into our business today. So I have on the team call with us today, Mr. Jacob Bruns. If I'm not saying that correctly, Jacob, definitely correct me because I want to give Jacob a really solid introduction. And I want to lead with I haven't had the chance to spend a lot of time at all with Jacob. Now, what I have seen a lot of is Jacob's name here, there, everywhere for like the last like 90 days. And prior to that, seeing him also just killing it before that. So when you see somebody's name killing it in the simplified issue space on veteran leads, it's really exciting, not only for that person, but it's exciting because once you almost turn the key, so to say, guys, like the key is turned and Jacob has absolutely turned that key. So Jacob, welcome to the call. I don't take your time lightly. Thank you so much for being on with us today. How are you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing amazing. Thank you so much for asking. And again, thank you for your time. I don't take it lightly at all. But
Thanks for
just to
having me.
Thank you. And just to kind of open up, Jacob, tell us a little bit about Jacob. What were you doing before Family First Life? What kind of got you into the industry? And why do you choose to work with FFL?
Well, shoot. I was actually playing college baseball, and I was kind of in that discretionary period of either continuing on with my baseball career or getting into the workforce. And luckily enough for me, I got a DM from Dominique Rogers, and he played baseball too. So it was like, all right, I get to kind of play baseball, but actually make money doing it. Like I kind of came to the realization. I was like, I'm 5'8", like I'm a buck 60, like I ain't going pro. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, this is cool. This sounds cool. And Dom back then had like a sponsorship program, so I was like, all right, cool. He pays for my license, he pays for my leads. Sweet. I don't know, nothing out of my pocket. I'll just get to learn something new. So I started in 22. I really didn't know anything about insurance. I had no sales background, nothing like that. I had like a small hobby in high school. I used to detail cars, so I kind of understood like business and I understood like talking to people and I understood that entrepreneurship was kind of the route I wanted to take with my life. But I really didn't realize like what route I was gonna take until Dom hit me up. I was like, all right, this is pretty cool. Um, and then from there, it was just that roller coaster of the insurance business, just kind of getting in your own head, kind of having those high months, and then you get those low months, and then you're like, well, shoot, what do I do now? And then I don't know. This whole time, it was always just like, I know this business works. And like, I never lost belief in the business. I just always lost belief in myself, So over time, it was just one of those things.
Absolutely. And Jacob, I applaud you for being able to like say that out loud because as you know, not everyone's able to be like, hey, I lost belief in myself, not necessarily in the process. Like, so that's some real talk right there. And I love how you're talking even about coming out of like, college, almost like coming out of college, deciding like, am I going to stay with, baseball? Am I going to go into the workforce? Like, which way am I going to go? You were able to connect with somebody on a common ground, Dominique, who's amazing, as you know. And
Yeah.
then you were able to be like, okay, this makes sense for me, right? And that was
Mhm.
in 2022 and it's 2026, right? And I love how you said like there's highs, there's lows, but you went back to belief in yourself, right? And Jacob, just to kind of, and we'll dig a little bit deeper here, but like, would it be fair to say like, okay, in the last 3, 4 years that you've been with us, those highs, those lows predominantly go back to the belief you do or don't have in yourself?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I
Absolutely.
applaud you for that.
hmm
Why do you say that?
Those were, like those are the biggest times in this business. It was just like because I always understood it just from Dom's point of view of like he built up a massive business, sold it to integrity, and like he had the life he had now. Um, and so I always saw it like that bigger picture, but it was always that fact of like, could I do it? So it was always like, all right, I know it's possible, but I was always just doubting if I could do it. So at any point in the business, if it was just like, people were charging back on me, like I had work, like bad persistency, had bad issue paid month, like whatever that looked like, it was always just like, wow, can I really do this? And like I would have those months issuing 40 grand, issuing 30 grand, but it was always the inconsistency of just like that mental battle between myself of like, all right, am I good enough? Can I do it? Do these people trust me or do they not? You know, so it was just a battle between myself, and it was never like it was never. I did blame the leads. You know, I would blame the leads. I'd blame my upline. I'd blame my team, like everything like that. I always just blamed everyone else, and then I finally realized, probably the beginning of this year, I was like, all right, Jacob, you got to calm down. Like you got to understand. Like look at yourself in the mirror, because everything that's happened in the past is a direct result of what I've chosen to do. So like I made all the decisions in this business to get me to where I'm at today, but in the past it was the same thing. It wasn't the leads, it wasn't the clients, it wasn't my upline, it was me. And it was ultimately just what I decided to do. So,
I
yeah.
love that. And thank you for like that transparency right off the rip. So it's like, guys, if you're not taking notes, like now is the time to get a pen and paper because like Jacob's being honest. He's like, I wasn't always taking accountability. You know, I started taking accountability pretty much this year. I was able to look in the mirror and guys, that's like the strongest thing that we can do as a human being is take a look in the mirror and take self accountability. So seriously, shout out to you, Jacob, because not everybody can do that, as you know, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but you're also not too proud to be like, I did blame the leads. I did blame my upline. I did blame my teammates. I did blame this process. I did blame the script. I did whatever. I did all of that, right?
Yeah.
But then,
Hmm.
we kind of come to a place and like I can relate to that, Jacob, because I did the same thing at one point in my career as well. It's like we have to take that look in the mirror, and if we don't, it's going to cost us a heck of a lot of money, right?
Hmm.
So sounds like you definitely took that look. Sounds like you definitely got a lot of belief in yourself as you should because you're killing it, and you were prior to. But just to kind of hit the call off, tell us a little bit about predominantly what lead types you're working or lead type you're working right now, kind of what your lead flow is looking like and what you're issuing at. You can brag on yourself a little bit, Jacob. Let's do this.
So predominantly I'm doing vets like mainly now. Like before, and I talked to Dom about this like very recently because like I was always just like, all right, whatever lead types work, I'm gonna do IULs, I'm gonna do mortgage, I'm gonna do final expense, I'm gonna do vets. And I was mixing everything together, just trying to be like the best agent ever. But I was like, all right, let me just get good at one thing and like get a flow constantly of that one lead type. And that way I can just get really good at that one thing. And ultimately, that's what I did. I actually asked Rami. I was like, Rami, how in the heck do I issue 70K a month? Like, how do I do it? He was like, what are you really good at? I was like, bets. He was like, I get 50 a week. So finally, probably 2 weeks into February, I just started getting 50 premium vet leads from Goat a week. And then from there, I think since February 9th, I was at 50,000 submitted. Probably uh, week four hasn't came out yet, but week three I issued like 14 grand. Week four will probably be like 20 something grand issued. So I'll probably finish off February around 40 grand, and then March we're looking to hit 70. So
Let's go. Hey, I'm not betting against you. That's for sure, Jacob. So I love that because sometimes, like you said, we get kind of skittish. And guys, it's good to know we have access to all these different lead types. But to Jacob's point, mastering one lane is huge because it's something you can always go back to, right? Like when in doubt, go back to the premium vet 50 pack that you know works, right? If you wanted to add something in, but it's like now you're like, I got the juice, I got the sauce, I know what's working for me because I've been consistently doing it, right? And that's kind of the one thing I think a lot of people miss, Jacob. It's like we want to go here, we want to work IUL leads for a day, and then we want to work ethos leads for another day, and then we want to work mortgage protection. And it's like as great as a lead. If you're trying to get your structure and your mindset, in my opinion, down, one of the best things that you can do for yourself is focus on that one thing, which is in your case, vet leads. You mastered it clearly because you're killing it. And does it feel better, Jacob? Like when you wake up in the morning, like are you more excited to like get it going? What does that look like for you?
it's definitely more exciting because I got like new agents coming in now, so it's more exciting having new people coming in and like actually being able to like show them like how to do it. Like in the past, I had agents, but I would just be super unaccountable and like not hop on Zoom, like not really care about anyone else but myself. And so like recently, it's just been bringing new people in and actually being able to show them how it's done, not just telling them how it's done. So that's a big thing. But every morning now, it's just like, yeah, I am excited to come in because I'm like, all right, I already know I'm going to make a sale. Like, I already know what my day is going to look like just because, like, I just have so much belief in myself now and also in the business that, dude, if I just keep sticking with the same thing week over week over week. Doesn't matter if I have a bad day, doesn't matter if I have like two bad days. Like I always know I'll finish out the week strong. And so I think that was the biggest thing in the past too, is just being so inconsistent because I would lose that belief like short term, but I didn't consistently do it over a period of time to where it actually like proved itself. And so I think that a lot of people like switch around too soon. And so like I have agents that are like, all right, I should do this lead, this lead, this lead. Like these leads aren't working now, so I'm going to switch vendors. It's like if you consistently buy the same leads every single week for like 30 days, 90 days straight, the numbers are always gonna average out. So I think that that's like the biggest problem with a lot of new agents is they're just trying to find that great lead source where it's like all the leads are really the same. Like it doesn't matter where you get them. It's just you have to be consistent in that one lead type for a period of time. So
Absolutely. And that speaks volumes. It's like, first and foremost, the belief that you have in yourself, right? Which like is like everything, but also like the inconsistent. I can relate to that too. Guys, there's a lot of us, a lot of you guys on here right now, and I love you guys, but it's like one day we wake up and we're doing this lead type, and the next day we're doing this lead type, and then like the next, and then like that night we're going to change the lead type, and we've been doing it for 9 hours and it's not working, and like we've made 6 calls. Guys, we need a larger sample size. To Jacob's point, 90 days. Like do the same thing for 90 days and be committed to it, be consistent with it, and you're bound to win. Now, Jacob, in working any lead type, did you ever have an issue like at all with like post dating apps? Like you post dated a lot of your business? Okay. And did that feel good?
no, that's
Okay.
the worst thing ever.
It was the worst thing ever, right? It like probably helped with chargebacks, probably went up and profit
Hmm.
probably went down, right?
Exactly.
So, Jacob, if you're on the call with me right now and I'm the veteran you're talking to and we're in the app, how do
Hmm.
you what do you tell me about the banking or how my payment's going to happen?
Well, I just like I say it up front. Number one, I don't give them an option. So like I don't say like, hey, when do you want this to come out? Like it's number one, like who are you banking with? This, all right, go ahead with those routing and account numbers. Sweet. All right, cool. So default is this carrier is going to draft that initial premium within the next 24 to 72 hours. Is that going to be a problem? If they give me any pushback there, it's like, yes, I don't get paid until this date. And then I'm like, all right, cool. How much you got in your savings? It's like, well, I got this much. All right, go ahead and transfer that amount over. You're going to see that draft come out tomorrow or the next day. And they're like, okay, cool. So like I'm just super adamant on like no draft dates unless it's like, if it's the 25th of the month, they get paid the third. Like I'm not going to be too worried about it. But if it's the third of the month and they're like, well, can we push it out till next month? It's like, no, I'm not going to write the app. So like
Right.
I'm just super adamant, and that also comes with lead flow. Like if I don't have enough leads, I'm gonna be doing draft dates. Like I'm gonna
Right.
get every single like policy I can in the books. But now with consistent lead flow, now it's just like, all right, if they're not serious about protecting their family, and like I bring up so much value in my appointments, so that like if they don't understand anything after that, then it's like, all right, you're not that serious. This isn't that important to you. So like I'm just not gonna write the app. And that just helps with persistency and like the people I want on my books ultimately.
Absolutely. And long term helps your business, your profitability. You don't have to worry about that chargeback coming in. It's like you ever write a policy, Jacob, and you know it's going to charge back? Because like I have, right? Right?
Absolutely.
But like that ain't the way to go. Like what Jacob just said. Who do you bank with? Okay, I bank with Citizens Bank. All right, that routing and account number. It's 12345. Okay, great. The first premium's going to come out in 24 to 72 hours. It's going to reoccur on the 5th of the month. And then he's just moving.
Yeah.
Like, guys, like, so like, how do we not post date? That's how we don't post date. We don't give the option. It's not, Jacob's not like, well, if you'd like, right? Like,
Yeah.
Jacob, if it's the 5th of the month and I'm on Social Security and you know I got paid on the 3rd and I just agreed to a $250 a month policy and I'm like, well, can it come out next month?
No.
No,
That's
you're
all
like,
I say. I just say no. Like it's
no,
not like elaborate on it. It's just no.
no. Nope, he's like, no, because I know that I have other people I can call that and it's gonna be sticky business and this person isn't serious. So it's just no. Like we don't need to elaborate. We're not gonna stay there. We're not gonna feel bad for them or us. We're gonna say no and we're gonna get off the phone if that's the case. So
Mhm.
guys, it's like this is like a key right here. Like if you don't take one more thing from this call, I'm like just replay this part where Jacob says, who do you bank with? That routing and account number. It's coming up in 24 to 72 hours. Like that's it, guys. That's it. Now, obviously, you're doing something extremely right in your sales process, and I love that. Are you predominantly one call closing, booking, both? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Definitely both. It just kind of depends on like the scenario and like in every appointment, like I say, it's like you just got to read the situation. Like if you hear they're in the car driving, hey, I hear you're driving. What time you get home? Like you don't have to get to the point of them telling you that they're driving because you already hear it. So it's like just point it out initially and then schedule an appointment. And then obviously if they're like, no, I'm busy right now, and you hear the TV going on in the background, like I'll just say right there, go ahead and turn on the TV and we'll knock this out. Takes 5 minutes. Grab a pen and paper. Like if they give me any pushback in the beginning, I'll just have them go do something so I get their attention. Now I'm in control, right? Like I typically don't have them. I couldn't tell you out of the 50,000 I just wrote or whatever, like I couldn't tell you how many people actually wrote down my license information. Like I build trust through like relating to them. Like in a veteran appointment, like I'm not diving straight into insurance. Like I'm not worried about the insurance in the beginning. I'm strictly just asking them about their situation. Like
Mhm.
actually like gaining knowledge about what their scenario is, like how long ago did they serve? Like when did they serve? Like what wars did they go to? Like what countries did they visit? Did they stay stateside? Like what does all that look like? And then we'll get into the insurance later. Like I probably spend 5 to 10 minutes just asking them, like building rapport really, but also just getting them to trust me and like me. Because ultimately that's what they buy from. Like they're gonna buy insurance no matter what or who it's from. It's just it's gonna be from the person who they like and who they trust.
A
Right.
hundred
So
percent.
yeah.
So you're extremely proactive. You
Mhm.
take that control, and I love like how you said if they're driving, you're not like grab a pen and paper and like you're acting like they're
Yeah.
like, you're like okay, like I can see you're driving, and you schedule an appointment.
Exactly.
Love that. And then same thing on the other side. If you hear the TV in the back and like Miss Mary's just hanging out, you're like, Mary, grab a pen and paper. And then
Yeah.
before you know it, sometimes you just get right through the whole appointment and Miss Mary's happy and you build that rapport. So at the beginning, you're not just like, well, what do you have for insurance? Like,
Exactly.
because now you're the sales guy, right? They
Yep.
don't like you. They're like, this is just like the guy that called me last week and I hated him. I hung up on him, right? Like, so you like to your point, people buy from people that they like and that they trust, period. Like those, if you can get those two things and you ain't closing, like, I don't know, like those are the only two things you need, okay? They need to like you, they need to trust you. So you build that a little bit through rapport. Now, guys, I want to be clear here. Like, Jacob, you're not taking 35 minutes to dive into their whole entire life. You're taking about 5, maybe 7 minutes, right, in the
Yeah.
beginning, just to
Max.
warm it up, get to know them.
Yep.
And can I ask you a question? And this is not in a disrespectful way, it's ignorance on my end. Did you serve at all in the military ever?
No.
What about like your immediate family?
Yeah. My brother went to the Navy and my grandfather was in the Navy in World War II.
Okay, got you. So you can kind of relate a little bit there, but you're not
Mhm.
personally relating, like, oh, so was I,
You know
right?
what I say? So, because everyone asked me that, like a lot of
Yeah.
veterans ask, "Did you serve?" I'm like, "No, sir, I didn't." My brother's serving right now. My grandfather served back then, but I just got stuck on this side. I just help our veterans.
Mm. Guys, boom, like right there. Like we all have somebody, probably we probably all have somebody in our family that we can relate to. It might not be your brother, it might not be your dad, your cousin. There's somebody there you can relate to. And if not, insert Jacob's story. Okay. You're just trying to help them. Okay. But be
Yeah,
able to be relatable in the beginning. Super easy. You're warming up. They're not like quizzing you about wars, right? Like, because this is
yeah,
like the stuff that I think we get nervous about. Like, oh my God, they're going to come up with a pop quiz. Guys, they're just talking to you. They don't expect you to know everything about every war. So just be mindful of that. All right, so you take that control essentially in the beginning. They're writing down your credentials, so you think, right? You're giving them your credentials. You're building that rapport with them. And then you mentioned, and I love this, that essentially like the value is going to sell itself.
yeah.
Now, when we're in that, presentation, for lack of a better term, what are some of the things that you're doing, whether that's on the front end or throughout, that you're asking or doing to make sure that this person is tracking with you and everything's making sense on both ends?
Well, I always just take it down like two separate avenues. It's either they have insurance, they're looking to add on to it, or they have nothing at all. So like I just take it down two different avenues. Like whatever they say, if they have insurance, cool, how much do you have? How much you looking to add on? They have no insurance. If they're 76 years old, I'm like, oh my gosh, why not? Like how have you gotten to this point with no insurance? Like Are you that like sincere? Like, do you not think you're gonna die? You know, like
But
so
you're
I
able to
just
say that, right,
yeah,
Jacob?
hundred
So
percent.
like if you're on the phone with me and I'm 72 years old and I'm like, yeah, Jake, I just don't have any insurance. Role play with me.
Yeah, I'll say, oh, that's crazy. Why not?
I haven't really got around to it, it's expensive.
It's expensive. Gotcha. Did you know that the more time that you wait, it's gonna keep getting more and more expensive? So like the best time to do it is now. Are we gonna get this handled today or no?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Like I'm buying from Jacob because he's bold. He's being honest. He's like, I don't care if you're 49. Like, how have you not got around? So are we gonna get it done today? So like, he's very upfront. He's like, we're taking like, there we go. He just killed all my objections in 5 seconds. But guys, it's like if you're not willing to be honest and bold with the client, they're not going to be honest and bold back, right, Jacob? Like you're bold. Is that fair to say?
100%. It
Love
took a
that.
lot of time. It took a lot of time to learn that though, for sure.
Right. But you got to a point maybe of like frustration, right?
Absolutely.
And then you're like, okay, I keep hearing this, like I have to build the value, I have to, I have to understand, I have to get them committed. And that's what
Yes,
you're doing now, right? And it might
absolutely.
be uncomfortable sometimes. Is that fair?
Yeah, yes, definitely.
But the more you say it, the more comfortable it gets to ask, right?
Absolutely.
It's like the first day, guys, when we're like, if you die, it's like we're all gonna die when you die, right?
When,
Like
yeah.
it gets on it's like we're in a morbid industry, guys. It's not like fun and shiny, so to say, but at the same it's important. It's
Mhm.
important and it's a need-based business. That's the best part about it. So if you can talk with the confidence and use simple word tracks like Jacob is using and giving us, like you're gonna win. It's just about being bold enough to insert them and actually taking the time to be like, this is what I have to fix and what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
So Jacob, let's just say I send a request in because this happens sometimes, right? And I'm like, you know what, Jay, I already got it taken care of. Like, I'm not even worried about it, Jacob. Okay, just don't call me anymore. Bye. Like, and I'm ready. Like, what are you telling me?
Well, off the bat, I'm just like I understand, like I'm not interested in calling you either. You just submitted a form. So like I'm gonna handle this now. Like, why are you not interested? Because you can't qualify or because you can't afford it? Which one?
I can't. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I didn't even know who this was, right? Do things like that happen, Jacob? And they're like, oh
Yeah,
shit,
no,
like,
100%. Like I get people that do that all the time, and like number one, if they give me too much feedback or like pushback there, and they're like seriously like going off on me, I'm like, I'm not even gonna waste my time. Like, I'll call that person next week. Like, I had this, this is a funny story actually. Like, I just like I hang up on them and then I call them next week and I act like a completely new person and they're in a better mood, and then I sell them then. So it's like just understand your leads like aren't they're not dead. Like, don't mark them red just because they yelled at you once. Like, just set them to the side, call them next week, and act like a new person. They're probably gonna forget about you.
100%. I love that. That's like great feedback, guys. And like, I'm sure we can all think of a time we called an aged lead that maybe rashed us out, and then like that we wrote them the following day. Um, there's been so many times I can think of that people hung up on me, Jacob, whether it was when we were in the home or in telesales, and you call them back to your point, and you're not like, hey, this is Marisa. I called you last week and you were in a
Yeah,
really bad mood. You're just like, hey, Jacob, this is Marisa getting back to you about that request. Like, brand
absolutely.
new call, brand new lead, no change in the mindset, right? So I love that. Like, you just call them back. Guys, it works. If it works for
Mhm.
Jacob, it works for me, it works for Dominique, it works for Rami, it works for everybody else on this call too. So I love that. And then in terms of maybe, building the need, let's just say, Jacob, we're in an appointment, and I'm 70-year-old Mary, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
And I'm looking out for my kids. And I have two kids, and I already have 25 grand of life insurance that I've had for a while. So maybe looking to add on a little bit more. Now, when you're in this type of appointment, if it's cool to role play, that would be awesome. Kind of the
Yeah.
questions that you're maybe asking that person at that time.
Yeah, so they already have 25,000. I'm just like, all right, cool, Mary. So I'm assuming you got that 25,000 in place just to take care of those final expenses like burial cremation, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's exactly why I got it.
okay, cool. And this extra like money that we're looking into leaving behind, I'm assuming it's just for those grandkids. You got a couple more that came.
Yeah, I got three.
Oh, you got three grandkids. Okay, cool. So we want to put all three of them on the policy so we can leave them each equally the same amount, maybe get through, college or a new car, or like down payment on a house. Like what are we kind of looking at like when it comes to that?
Yeah, I just want to leave them like a little bit, like, I love you money when my time comes.
Gotcha. Okay. Sounds good. I mean, I kind of just
So, but
that's
you see, like,
the
guys, you
question.
elaborated, right? You got
Yeah.
clarity. You didn't just walk past it,
Yeah.
right? You weren't just like, oh, you have 25K, awesome. All right, so like you just wanted to add more. You're like, okay, you have 25K. He spent it, guys. He spent it. What I mean by he spent it, he said, I assume you got that in place to cover your final arrangements or your burial, your cremation. He's spending the money. Because he's saying, why else would we be on the phone if you didn't think that you needed more life insurance? Okay,
Mhm.
look, you're looking to leave a little bit behind for your grandchildren, right? Okay, what's the goal here? Do we want to leave some for a down payment on a house? Do we want to just leave them like why do you need to leave them money? Right?
Mhm.
Because if we don't have the why, it's going to be really hard to close at the end. Because then Miss
Yeah.
Mary's going to be like, I already have 25,000. I think I'm good. I got it 50 years ago and I pay $27 a month, right? It's like we all been there, but if the value's built, it's a completely different conversation. Um, and now let's just say that you're talking to Miss Mary and Jacob. I'm walking you through these different scenarios, and I appreciate you going through them genuinely. Because
Yeah.
we bump into them every day, right?
Yeah.
Um, let's just say you're on the phone with Mary, who's 70 years old, has no insurance. You already pointed out, okay, well, like we're doing it basically today. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Okay, it gets more and more expensive. Yeah, we should probably knock this down today. What are some of the questions you're asking me from there?
Well, I would just say like, all right, so are you like most of our veterans just looking to cover those final expenses, or are you just trying to leave some extra money behind to the kids, grandkids?
Just want to cover the final expenses.
Cool. Are you planning on getting buried or cremated? Or not sure
Uh,
yet?
Probably cremated. I don't know what my kids would do.
Cool. Do you know how much that costs?
Not really, no.
Okay, so national average is like 3 to 5 grand. So like my job is to get you the minimum amount of insurance that you need in order for your kids not to have to come out of pocket for any reason. If you want to add anything above that, that's completely up to you. Does that make sense?
It does, yes.
Cool. And like I always just like downsell in the beginning because like in all reality, if you just say my job's to get you the minimum amount and you just show them 5 grand here covers cremation, like I'll bring up more like value points if I like see they have a mortgage or like whatever other thing that I can find because ultimately like we're problem finders, you know what I mean? And then problem solvers. Like we're finding the problems so we can solve them. So like I always just say my job's to get to the minimum because it just decreases all sales pressure in the appointment. And like I just know that, all right, here's 5 grand, and then they'll always ask me, how much is 10? How much is 15? And then like I'll let them choose that. I don't have to sell it now. I let them sell themselves.
I love that. So, like, guys, decreasing sales pressure can be everything in a sales appointment. And we talk about it a lot, like we're order takers, like we're problem solvers. But to Jacob's point, if we don't find the problem with the client, they're not willing to communicate it to us, like, we can't find the solution. So I love that. My job is to get you the minimum amount of insurance. If you want, we can add from there. But my job is just to get you the minimum, what you actually need based off what you just told me, which is 3 to 5 thousand for your cremation, Miss Mary. Love that. You show them the 5,000, it's like $42 a month. They're like, well, how much is 10? What
Exactly.
about 20? And the next thing you know, they're selling themselves, right, Jacob?
Yep.
Love that. Um, Now we all get like those like kind of weird appointments where like they're like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and we're just trying to figure out what's going on in the appointment. It sounds like you do a great job of asking questions and things of that sort so that you don't feel that way when you're at the pitch, so to say. You're not like, what's going on? You have a great idea, you have a good picture of what it looks like for them with the insurance, without the insurance, and you've already essentially established why they're getting it.
Yeah.
Now, let's just say that I'm like, okay, Jacob, I really have to thank you so much for your time. You were awesome. But like I need to think about it. I have to talk to, my kids and I'll get back with you on Friday.
So I love this one because I just got it. Like, and I'm just super bold here because I just like reiterate like the value that I built previously. It's like, all right, cool. Like, I understand, like, this isn't something you have to do, but this is something you're wanting to do. So, number one, I always bring it back to like, this is not required. Like, it's very good that you're looking into this. So, we're able to actually leave something behind your kids because obviously, if you pass away tomorrow and you have no insurance, they're getting nothing. So it's like, are we doing this for them or are we doing this like with them? It's like we're not doing this with them, we're doing this for them. So like in all reality, there's nothing to think about today because number one, we got to get approved. And like I always just say, like if I give them an option or if I give them option based sale, like if I give them three different options, I'm like, all right, we'll just start at the lowest, like get you approved, and then we can increase 3 months down the road. Like I'll be your agent for life, so like I'm here forever. You call me in 3 months, 6 months, say, hey, I looked at the budget. This one's been working, so let's go ahead and increase it over to the 10 or the 20. And so I always just sell based off that. Like whatever's comfortable now, not so they don't not just so they don't have to think about it. Like there's no need to think about it. They're 72 years old, they need insurance. So like I'm very adamant on that fact of like, listen, you have nothing in place now. You need something, and we're aware of that. So let's go ahead and start with the lowest and increase later.
Right. So I love that. So you're essentially making sure, like, okay, lowest thing, let's get your foot. You have no insurance. Like you told me, you have no insurance, Jacob, and you're
Yeah.
72. Like you need the insurance. We're doing this for the kids. It's not required, but you're looking into it, which tells me you care about your kids. And if
Mhm.
you died tomorrow, they're going to be left with nothing. So like, let's at least get you foot in the door with this starter plan,
Yeah.
or with the bronze option or option the lowest
Yeah.
cost, guys. So it's
Yeah.
like that's usually like in Jacob, would it be fair to say that that works maybe about like at least 50% of the time?
Yeah.
Okay, right. And there's going
Absolutely.
to be that part of the time that it doesn't work, right? Now,
Yep.
let's just say I'm like, well, Jacob, like I just want to talk to them and like I'll call you back. Like I keep pushing back on you.
So like if someone keeps pushing it back on me, then I'm like, all right, cool. I have an appointment in 5 minutes. Like I'm gonna put you on the end of like on the at the end of my day. I'm gonna call you at the end of the day today. All right, you're gonna figure it out. I'm not calling you back on Friday because I'm working in another state then. All right, so it's gonna be hard for me to get back to you then. So like I just make my time more valuable than they think my time is, right? So I just say, listen, I got a ton of other appointments today, so I'm just gonna put you at the end of my day. I'll give you a call then. If this makes sense, cool. If it doesn't, we're gonna move on. And so,
Mhm.
like, if it's important to them, like, they're gonna answer the phone and they're gonna say, "Yep, I need it." If it's not important to them, then it's not. It's gonna be charged back anyway. So it's like, all right, cool. I just avoided one.
Yeah.
You know?
Love that. I love that. And that's awesome because it's like, I love the working another state thing because it's like, guys, if you can genuinely view yourself like I'm assigned to these 50 people this week, right? Like, and after this week, like I can't talk to them ever again, which is not obviously true, but in your brain, that's true. Like,
Hmm.
convince yourself of that and convince like how much further would you push? Like you would push a lot further. It's like I always say, Jacob, if you knew the person was going to die tomorrow, how much further would you push? Like we would all
Yep.
freaking push, right? So I love that you're putting it, and then you're putting it back on them. Hey, I'm really busy. I have another call in about 5 minutes. So like, I can give you a call at the very tail end of my day and you can decide if you want to do it or not. But I'm working other states moving forward. So I'm not going to be able to give you a call back on Friday. So if you're ready tonight, great. If not, take care. It was great talking to you. Boom, get off the phone. Jacob's like, I don't have any more time to waste. Next, 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 next. And that's the best word you can use in this business is next. Sometimes we'll feel like, okay, we have this awesome person. And then they're like, they don't want to give the bank. It's like, dude, you're approved for the coverage. What do you mean you don't want to give the bank, right? One question I do have for you, Jacob, and this has been awesome. I just want to let you know that your word tracks are amazing. It makes sense to me why you're selling at the level you're selling at. Um, One thing that maybe you got hung up on. What I mean by that is like something that really like you've overcame, and whether that's in the last year, the last 2 years, last 6 months, the last month, that maybe you were getting like objected with through your presentation, whether that was like social, bank, or just getting like hung up on. Talk to us a little bit about a struggle you really had or like, earlier on that you feel like you've now overcome in a really strong way, which you've already talked a lot about, but
Yeah. I mean, definitely the easy ones are the social and banking. Like those are the easy ones. And I think the social and banking number one is like having one-legged appointments. Like that's the biggest objection you're gonna get, especially when it comes to like banking. Because they're always going to want to talk to my wife makes a decision. Oh, I thought you did. Like it's always comes back to that fact. And like I'll push as hard as I can in those situations, but like probably 80% of the time I shouldn't have taken it that far in the beginning. So like I shouldn't have gotten to that point without the wife because it's always something to fall back on for them. So like let's just say for the social, like that was a big thing too. But the number one reason people object at social and banking is because like they don't trust you or they feel like that you didn't build up enough value in your appointment. And so like recently I have barely ever gotten it. Like even today I got a guy who was like, "Oh, I just don't know. I don't like giving out the social." I was like, "That's okay, dude. The insurance company needs it." Okay. 3, 2, like it just and he just
Right.
says
And then
it.
he ripped it. Right.
Yeah. And so like if you make it a big deal, like it's gonna be a big deal. So like I keep my tonality level. Like I don't care as much as like they think I should. Like they think I'm gonna freak out like whenever they say something. Like I'm not. I'm just gonna say, no worries, bro. Like this they just need it for the insurance. Like that's it. Like I've just keep things so simple and like so laid back that like they have nothing to object. It's like, oh, okay, this guy's just trying to help me. Okay. You
Right.
know?
Almost to a point, like they kind of sound like they're a jerk if they're like,
Yeah,
because like you've just been right here the whole time. You're just trying to help. And it's
exactly.
almost like they're in the wrong kind of. They're like, okay, you know what? Jacob's tried to help the whole time. Here's my social. Like
Yeah.
he hasn't tried to hurt me the whole time. And
Yeah.
then I love how you brought up the one leg. Guys, this is so big. Like we can sit there and be like, oh, like who makes the decisions? And then like to Jacob's point, everyone who you talk to makes the decisions all the time, like
Mhm.
99% of the time they make the decisions. And then you
Mhm.
get to the end and they're like, oh, I want to really bounce it off my wife, Carol, because like I don't want Carol to get mad. And like we usually do the banking decisions together. And if Carol's upset, it's gonna be really bad. And then you're just like, okay, like I just literally walked myself out. If Carol was just present, right? So like that's what we mean by one leg. Like if there's a husband and a wife, there's typically going to be two decision makers. They need to make the decision together. So like Jacob, what are some of the things that maybe you say to avoid a one leg, even when somebody's trying so hard to one leg it?
I typically am just super adamant on it. Like it's like, no, I take care of everything, or like my wife takes care of everything, like whatever it is. Like I always am just super adamant. All right, cool. But this is like something that you both need to understand like completely. So it's a lot easier for me to explain it to both of you together and not just have you like me relay it to you and then you relay it to your wife. Like, because you ever heard of like the telephone game? Like things get mixed up. So let's just set up a time where both you guys are together. And that way you both will completely understand everything that I'm about to go over, and then you can make the decision together right there. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Cool.
Perfect. So, like, guys, it's like sometimes we make things such a big deal to Jacob's point that they become a big deal. We're like, tit for tat for what the client. It's like that doesn't work. Like, if Jacob's like, I'm not going to give you, like, what do you need my social for? And I'm like, well, I actually don't need it. The insurance company does. Like, he sounds mean if he's gonna yell, but it's like he's like I'm here and he's here the whole like Usually they get here when you go from here to here to here, and now y'all are here, and it's just not gonna work. It's like okay, it's like a broken relationship. It's never gonna happen, Jacob, right? So
Yeah.
I love that. Don't one leg, just like be honest. I love how you use like the analogy of the telephone game. You guys might be like, oh, that's for third. Yeah, everyone remembers the telephone game. I never met somebody that didn't. So it's like by the end of the telephone game, at least from my experience, I've never seen it come out exactly what the first person said, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, I always tell my clients, Jacob, like, like respectfully, you don't have a life insurance license, so I wouldn't want you to relay the information. It's just not going to make a whole lot of sense. But the telephone game, I love that. So I'm definitely stealing that. So thank you for that. But when you don't make it a big deal, it doesn't become a big deal, guys. So just like remember that as you're going through your presentation and but also just as you're talking to people. Jacob, it sounds a lot like you just treat people like people. Is that fair?
Absolutely.
Like you're just here, like you're just wanting to help, right? And
That's the
you're
number
like,
one
you
thing
don't
I
want my
teach.
help? Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. But like I'm just here to help, dude, right? Love that vibe. And then if somebody cancels, this is gonna be I have like a couple more questions for you and we'll wrap up. I really appreciate your time. If somebody cancels their policy, like whether they call let's just say they call the insurance company and cancel. They go over your head, they call the insurance company and cancel. How do you handle that?
What's funny is like recently, I'm not even lying. Like I've had clients that have been calling me like on the third, hey, did they take my premium? Hey, did they take my premium? And like I've never had that before in this business. But like I was so adamant on like you are not canceling this. Like I just the confidence came out of like this is like needed. And I built the value so heavily that like they are calling me to make sure that the insurance company's got the premiums. But like I also had a guy the other day, this just happened. Like I had a guy the other day call me up, right? And he said, I think he was 73 years old. It was for 10 grand. It was 87 bucks a month with Mutual Omaha. And he called me. He was like, Jacob, I got the policy in the mail. And I'm looking at it. It's 10,000 and how much is it? I'm like, it's 87 bucks. And he was like, man, that's just expensive. Like, that's just, I don't know if I even need this anymore. I'm like, George, you need it. Like, stop. Like, I was just straightforward to him. I was like, George, you need it. It's like, why do you think it's so expensive? He was like, why? I was like, because you waited so long to get it. But like, if you keep waiting, it's going to keep getting more expensive. Like, everything that we went over, like, earlier in our appointment of like, why you need this is because, like, for this reason. And so like I just lay it out like again, and I'm like, dude, like there's no need for you to cancel it. Like you can afford $87 a month, and you want to make sure that on the day you pass away, if that's tomorrow, then your daughter's going to receive that $10,000 tax free and a check, right? So if you want your daughter to get that $10,000 check, we're keeping it. If you don't, then I'll call the insurance company right now and cancel it. Which one works better for you? I guess you're right. I'll just keep it. It's like
Okay,
that's what I thought.
there we
And
go.
he lives in Maryland too, so I was like, dude, I'm gonna come have lunch with you and like we're just gonna beef it out. Like I don't care what you say, like I'll explain everything again, but like you need this and like we both know you need it. And we know you can afford it. Like stop kidding with yourself. Like stop buying cigarettes and you'll be good.
Right.
Like so I'm just straight up with people.
I love that. And you said confidence and value, right? Like those two things go a long way in this business. And like Jacob, you got both and you're rocking them. Like don't ever lose either one. Like you're running with them. I'm not betting against you. He said his client called him and he said, "George, you need it." Okay? Like he wasn't debating it. He's like, "George, I'm not confused. You ain't confused. Stop acting confused. You need it. You need it because you told me that if you die tomorrow, your daughter, Teresa, has nothing to cover your final arrangements. You need the 10,000. It's only going to get more expensive, George. So like basically let's cut the BS is basically what Jacob is saying without saying it. He's just confidently pointing out the obvious. And guys, sometimes we get nervous to point out the obvious, but it's the best thing we can do for the client. And it also builds so much trust. If you can point out the obvious, like a lot of people can't do, it's going to go a lot further than you probably would ever think. So I love that. And then, just to wrap up the call, Jacob, I always like to wrap up with something on a positive note that's about you. Um, Being that we're in 2026, we're about to wrap up quarter one. What are your goals, whether it's business, personal, or both, to wrap up the year?
Yeah, I got a bunch of goals. Like I want to hit Hall of Fame by like August, and I want to build a team doing 500 grand a month by December. And I just hired a solar team last week. Like every single person that I knew from like Oklahoma, my old life, they're all hitting me up now. How are you doing that? What are you doing? And it's just for me being consistent with posting my stories of like, hey, I just sold this one, just sold this one. And like I'm consistently making sales like, hey, I just sold 50 grand in the last 20 days. So it's like let's see what happens. And so now everyone's hitting me up of like, dude, I need something like that. So
I
yeah,
love
that's the
that.
goal.
Awesome. Well, hey, there's not a doubt in my mind that you will far surpass hitting Hall of Fame before August and that you'll have an amazing group up and going by the end of this year, far surpassing that 500,000. And I love how you even brought it back to I consistently post on my Instagram. That's why people are reaching out to me. Guys, consistency goes a long way. And Jacob, I know I haven't had the chance to spend a lot of time with you, but I am so proud of you from going from here to here, the confidence, the value, the understanding, the graciousness, the tonality, the everything. It's on point in all sectors. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on this call with us today. And I really think it just helped us dissect that sometimes when we minimize things, can go a really, really long way. So, Jacob, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate you.
Thank you guys for having me. It was great.